Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. Got a treat for you. Jessy J returns, saxophonista. She's back with her sax and her piano and her mic and her 10th album, TERRANOVA. Everyone is excited about this album. It's out this Friday, April 4th, so you can get it now. By the time of this broadcast, you can get it now. There's no waiting, no pre-saving. It's available. There are many reasons why this is the most anticipated Latin jazz record of the year. And one of them is that Jessy J reunites with Grammy-winning producer Paul Brown. The powerhouse duo first joined forces in 2008 for Jessy's debut hit album, Tequila Moon. Tequila Moon topped the charts and was named Song of the Year by Billboard magazine and Radio and Records. The official single is My Everything for the TERRANOVA album, and we are going to play that for you in its entirety after the interview. Jessy J continues to add magical musical milestones to a celebrated career that now spans 17 years of great music. She's got 8 chart-topping Billboard albums, 13 top singles, a strong Spotify presence, and sold-out world tours. Her unique artistry has established her as one of the most in-demand and sought-after saxophonistas in the genre. Welcome, Jessy J. Congratulations on your new album.
Thank you, Jeremiah. It's great to be back.
Yeah, you are back. It's so great. I was looking at our last interview, which we did over 3 years ago, and in the descriptor, it talks about COVID-19 and being home and creating the music. And you just released Blue at that point.
That's right. That was my last album before Terra Nova.
Yeah, well, and I was thankful. Yeah, I was thinking it's been so long, but at least we had your music to keep us warm until we meet again.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Okay, so you're here with the new album. Last time you were with your last album. What's happened in between your last visit with us for your album Blue and now? Give me some of the highlights.
Well, I reunited with Paul Brown, like you mentioned, and it was kind of off the cuff. He said, I have a great song for you for your new project. And I knew that I would be working on a 10th album, but I just didn't know exactly when I would start it because I'm pretty busy throughout the year touring. And then I also play in the house band for Dancing with the Stars in the fall season. So it was actually, I wasn't touring, I was doing my in town work, which is the Dancing with the Stars band. And we set up a schedule that every Wednesday I would go to his studio. We'd work on some music, and by the end of 10 weeks, the whole project was finished. So it just came together so quick and so fast. And I was just like, this is the way it was meant to be. I just went into the flow, like, we're going to create something amazing today. And we really did. And we also got a chance to do live in the studio with amazing musicians like David Garfield, Gordon Campbell, Richie Gahate, Shane Terrio. We did some live tracking, and the rest is history. I mean, it was just really fast, really easy, and it flowed perfect.
How often is that normal, the normal process, or is it sometimes is it a struggle to create the music, or do you find that that's an anomaly, or is it that it's that easy that it flows that well? Um, what's it typically like to record an album, to put together the music, to work with all the musicians? I imagine it's quite an undertaking just to put it all together. But you described this as a really smooth, nice experience. Is that normal?
This is the only time it's taken me 10 weeks to do a whole album from start to finish. Usually I start to get into the details and micromanaging every
Yeah.
little thing. And I need to redo this. I'm going to recut my sax. We need another track. We need another take. This time I just let it go. I said, it's going to be what it is. I'm going to be in the moment. I'm going to be free. And I thought of it more like a jazz recording, like a straight ahead jazz album. Because a lot of times in the jazz world, you do one take and that's the take for the album. There's none of this, like, let's re record it 500 times. Like, I'm kind of over that whole thing. So I just
Yeah.
went with my first or second take and left it.
So is that so you in a way would you say you learned something about yourself as a music artist and what you'd like to have happen in the future? Giving up a little bit of that control, but still obviously all of it's you, but just kind of going with it, letting the music flow. Is it something you're going to try to replicate in the future?
Yeah, I did like the feeling of it, of just being free and letting it be what it is, and just having that sense of it, it sounds great the way it is, and there's nothing that can make it sound better. Just leave it alone. And that was a positive experience for me. I think I would love to do an album that's just all in the moment, because I did do one live album and it was take it or leave it, here it is. But I would like to do a studio project like that where all of the songs are live in the studio.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I'm up for listening to that whenever you put it out. Which
Okay.
you're going to be pretty busy for a little while with this album, though. It's going to be a real hit, I'm sure. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
listening to it. So when Paul called you, did he say I missed it? Did he say he had an idea for an album, or did you have it personally? Did you have a creative inspiration for Terra Nova after he called you? Did you have the inspiration for what you wanted it to be, or was it sort of pitched to you as an idea?
Well, I knew that my 10th studio project would be a big album for me and that I would reunite with Paul Brown on some force. But I didn't
Hmm.
know that we would work together on every single song, which is what ended up happening. I thought we would do one song, maybe two songs to, tip our hats to Tequila Moon, my first album. And then, but I did know it would be Latin leaning and a sister album to Tequila Moon. So we were already in that scope of things. But Paul Brown had the idea for the song Terra Nova, and he pitched it to me, and I liked it.
What did you like about it?
I like
What
the harmonic.
elements?
I like the harmonic structure. I like the Latin percussion in the song. And I thought that it just went really well with today's contemporary jazz. It's very modern. It has a lot of the elements that people like. For instance, there's an echo in the beginning guitar, the reverb, a lot of the aesthetic sounds on the song. I thought, man, this is going to be just appealing to a lot of different people, and that's what I wanted, a very commercial sound.
Okay. Um, describe Paul Brown for us, for those that may be listening that aren't real aware of him. How is he as a producer? How is he as a musician and a collaborator? Give us an idea of who he is as an artist.
Okay, well, I have a long history with Paul Brown. He helped me break into the contemporary jazz scene as an independent artist. He introduced me to my first manager, who introduced me to the record label, and it all kind of snowballed from there. So I really do owe him a lot with helping me start off my career. And so I've always, regarded him as a mentor of mine, someone that showed me the ropes in the business. And he's very generous with his knowledge. So when I'm in the studio with him, he'll say, "Oh, did you know how to do this? When you're recording, you should do this," because he's a world class engineer. He's won 2 Grammys for production and engineering, and he's a great mixer. So he does everything in the studio as well as write and play the guitar. And his parents are also musicians. His mom sang with Frank Sinatra, and his dad was a,
Wow.
a singer too. And so he comes from the musical family in Los Angeles. And my parents were not musicians. So I learned everything from my teachers and my mentors. And he became a mentor for me when we first started working together. And I could just, I regard him highly as a friend, as a mentor. And yeah, I like working with him. His process is very organic, like mine, where we go in, we write together, either we like it or we don't. And if we don't like it, it's gone. Whatever we don't like is like, I don't like this song, we're not doing it, and it's over. There's no like, oh, come on, you should do this because of that. It's just like we really respect each other and where we're coming from. And he did, present me some songs that I really didn't like. And same thing, I would show him songs And he would be like, I don't think that's going to go over well. And we just bounce ideas off of each other, but it's a very free space. So there's no like shame in bringing anything up if you think it might not go over well. And one of the songs that I brought up to him that he really liked is this track called Piel Canela from Trio Los Panchos and Edie Gourmet. It's a song that my family loves to listen to from the 1950s, and we re recorded it as a jazz arrangement. And I think it sounds beautiful. It has a lot of that classic Latin jazz harmony, as well as now the saxophone's playing the melody. And it's the first time I've ever heard it on the saxophone because most people sing this song. And it talks about having brown skin, like cinnamon skin. So it's a Latin favorite.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. Cinnamon skin. I like those words together. Uh, so any of the songs, some of the songs that you chose that you liked, but Paul didn't like, and you threw them out. Uh, do you regret any of those? Do you think are you just completely happy with this album and the catalog of songs? And are you excited, I guess, for the for this to be released to the world? And are you happy with how it came together?
Yes, I absolutely love the finished product.
I'm glad you answered that way because as I was thinking of the question, I'm like, if she says no, that's not good. That's a terrible question.
Right. Yeah, I love the finished product. I think that the sound quality is just top notch, the arrangements, everything. It's innovative while yet staying classic and true to the jazz heritage of an improvisation and exchange of melodies. And recording it live in the studio also does bring that element of people playing off of each other. So I love that aspect as well because we did a lot of the studio sessions live
Okay, so you guys were all together this time
for
because I
half of the
think on
songs. Yeah.
half of but if I remember right, in Blue, you were in different locations, right? You were
That's
recording,
correct.
you were taking it, you had to use Zoom and different
I know.
online share files. Which I guess this point, been talking to a lot of musicians say, you know what, I hated it at the time, but I'm glad I learned it now because, we a lot of times musicians are in different cities, different coasts, different countries, and now you've found um, a new skill set where you can, that won't stop you. The budget won't stop you if you can't afford to get in studio in Brazil or somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I love file sharing as well. It just takes much longer.
Yeah. Well, and there's something about being together, and especially with your music, and the great group of people musicians you're working with. I'd imagine there's a lot that happens in that close interaction that you just can't replicate over a file share. So,
Yeah,
Jesse, we got to take a break here real quick, but before you go to break, would you list for me um, some great saxophone players that you admire, that you greatly admire? Just a few names for me.
sure. Well, I'll start from the beginning. There's Cannonball Adderley, Stanley Turrentine, Joe Henderson, Charlie Parker. And I recorded Mr. Magic from Grover Washington Jr. on this album. So
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
thanks. Those are some of my top favorites.
Okay, so you just listed some of your top favorites, which I'm sure is hard to do, but there are no women in there in that list. Did How rare is it? I could, if you asked me to name a saxophonista or a woman sax player, I couldn't do it right now, aside from you. So, how rare is that you are a woman sax player and this and so highly regarded, so talented?
Thank you. There's quite a few women saxophonists now, so it's becoming more common. But as when I was growing up, there wasn't as many.
Mm-hmm.
So I think mainly Candy Dulfer
Mm-hmm.
was someone that I listened to, and I really admire her music as
Yeah.
well. And Sheila
Oh no,
E.
I could
is
now
another
I could
great.
name that.
Yeah,
When you brought that name, I do know her. Sheila E. I'm sorry.
the son is going crazy over here.
Sun is
Declare.
setting on you. It's good lighting. I kind of like it.
Okay.
Um, so what you said, there's my point. You said there weren't that many when I was growing up. You also said my parents weren't musical. So how do you explain you? How do you explain you dedicating your life to the saxophone and jazz and music, a life in music, and not only dedicating but dominating? How do you explain that?
Well, when I first started playing music, I felt like it was my voice, and that's how I could express myself through the notes more than words that I was speaking. And it was just my main therapy. Like if I felt bad, if I felt good, happy or sad, it would all come out through my music. And also, I grew up in a town that had a lot of great music teachers, and there was nothing else to do. So that could also explain it.
How old were you when you picked it up?
I started playing the piano when I was 4 and
Uh,
the saxophone when I was 9.
9. Okay. It seems like, and were you a small girl? I mean, it seems like that would almost saxophone would take up a 9-year-old's entire orbit.
It totally did. Yes, I could barely carry it. I walked to school with my saxophone, and I remember
Do
being so heavy, but I enjoyed it and I
you
loved
have
it.
pictures of that? Does your family have pictures of that? You walking with your saxophone?
I don't know if they do. They have pictures of me playing it, but not carrying it, I don't
Yeah.
think, to
I like
school.
I like that image. I like it. It sounds like it should be a painting. Um, so 9 years old, you started playing the sax. Um, and your family was accepting of it. They encouraged that, even though no one was really in music or in the music business or musically inclined.
Yeah, they loved music. They were music fans, so we were always listening to different music in our house, like Sergio Mendes, Herb Albert, and Trio Los Panchos, a lot of classic Mexican music. And then when I started playing it, they went to my band concerts, my piano recitals. Everyone enjoyed listening to it, and they encouraged me to continue doing it because they saw how much I liked it.
That's also a great image of the house full of jazz and great jazz artists playing. Was it on a record player
Yes.
back then? And
Hmm.
and what a full. There's nothing like jazz that fills a house, is there, musically? I mean, there's all different types of genres, but I don't think anything, and I don't know how to describe that, but it's warm, it's full, um, it's all encompassing. It's kind of like a music warm bath, jazz music in a house, don't you think?
I agree totally. And it's something you can listen to and think about as you're listening to it. It just makes you, it tells a story. So it takes you with you. It takes it with you.
Jessy J, saxophonista, top contemporary jazz saxophonist Jessy J returns not only to the Jeremiah show, but she returns to